In this video, I'm going to show you that how we can use Metasploit Framework in order to hack a remote computer. Well, I cannot use other system to hack their computer because that would be considered as an illegal activity. So for that purpose, I'm just going to hack my own computer. In order for the testing scenario of this video, I'm just gonna hack my own computer that is outside of Backtrack. Or if you really don't want to hack your own computer, then you can install another operating system inside your VMware workstation. That would be either Windows XP or 7, but I would recommend Windows XP because Windows XP is more vulnerable than Windows 7. So you should install another operating system that will be virtually into this computer with the help of VMware workstation. That will be Windows XP, and you can then apply your hacking techniques on that. So in order to actually hack my remote computer, that is this Windows 7, I need to install Java first in my computer, because we're going to be actually exploiting the Java framework of this computer. So as you can see that I have installed Java, that is JRE7 JDK. So now we can actually apply our exploits on the Java framework. So that would be very easy for us in order to perform the hacking mechanism. So I would recommend you to install the Java in your computer or in your virtual operating system in order to perform this exploit. So I'm just going to get back into Backtrack, and then I'm just going to check out how we can actually start the Metasploit framework. In order to start Metasploit framework, you have to just click on this command terminal, open it, and then type msf console and press enter, and then wait 5 to 6 minutes, and in 5 to 6 minutes the msf console will be launched. I have already launched one version of msf console, so I'm just going to close this terminal and open this one. As you can see that I have already launched that version of MSF console. This is a kind of MSF console. When you type it, it will be actually giving you this kind of version. This depends on the version, because I'm using the version 4, you might be using version 3. You can use any version. If you want to update your MSF console, that is Metasploit framework, then you can just type msf update, and it will update all the tools and techniques and every exploits in your machine. So you just have to type msf update, nothing else than that. It will update everything, because as I have everything updated, so I really don't need to apply that. And as you can see that now I am inside Metasploit framework. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Java exploit in order to perform that hacking. So how can I use the Java exploit? That is a very easy question. You're going to have to just type on the use command, and use command is used to actually use different kind of exploits. As you can see that we have 927 exploits, 251 payloads, and many other things. So we can use now any of the exploit out of these 927 exploits. I'm just going to use the Java exploit. Now I'm going to use the exploit, and then I'm going to use multi-browser. Actually, we are using the browser attack on our computer, so for that purpose we are using the browser exploit. Then I'm going to use Java underscore atomic reference array. Make sure that you have installed Java in your computer, and then we're going to be using this exploit. And as you can see that now I am inside the exploit of Java atomic reference array. Now let's check out the option, what kind of options we have. So I'm going to use options, and we'll check out that as you can see that we have different options to set out for this attack. That is the server host, the server port, SSL certificate, URI path, and many different things. So we're gonna have to actually check out the different paths out there in the URI path. So for that purpose, I'm just gonna check out the different URI path like SSL version, SSL cert, SSL, and these kind of options are really important for me. So for that purpose, I'm going to set out the server port, so that will be set SRV port, and then that will be 80, because 80 is a normal web port or HTTP port. We're going to be using that port to enter into the target machine. And then I'm going to use set the URI path, that will be this one, because whenever you type the address of a website, then you enter the slash after that or before that. So I'm just going to set the URI path out there, and then after that what I need to do is I gotta have to use the local host or local port. I gotta have to set the local port or local host by myself, and there will be actually the IP address of my computer. So I'm just gonna open another terminal, and then I'm gonna use ifconfig to find out my own IP address, and as you can see that 192.168.23.128 is my IP address. But before that, we're gonna actually type on the payload. We have to find out the payload, what kind of payload we want to actually send out to the target machine. So I'm gonna use show payloads option, and then it will give me a list of payloads I want to use. As you can see that the generic shell reverse TCP, that will be actually the command prompt payload. If we want to actually hack a computer system via command prompt, then we can use the generic shell reverse underscore TCP. And if you want to hack the user with the help of their browser by injecting something into their browser, then we can use the Java interpreter reverse underscore HTTP. Make sure that it is not HTTPS, but it is HTTP. But if you want to use HTTPS, you can also go ahead with HTTPS. So I'm just going to actually use the payload set, and then I'm going to use payload, and after that I'm just going to use Java /interpreter /reverse underscore HTTPS and press enter. As you can see that now we have set the payload to Java underscore interpreter reverse HTTPS. Now we have easily actually be able to send this payload to the target computer. But before that, we have to actually use our own computer system as a hacking machine, or as a man in the middle person who will actually be used to hack the target machine. So this is how the man in the middle concept begins, that we're going to be using our computer as a man in the middle machine and using the target machine to hack out. So for that purpose, I'm just going to copy and set the local host to my own IP address. So I'm going to use set local host, and that will be 192.168.23.128, and press enter. So in this way I have now set up the local host. Now the last step I need to do is I gotta have to just type on the exploit. If you remember in the previous video, I have told you that the 5 steps of or the 4 steps of hacking with Metasploit Framework, and the last step included the exploit command. So whenever you type exploit, it will begin to exploit and will create a payload for you. We have already set everything up, and now it's time to create a exploit in order to test on in the target machine. So I'm going to use exploit. That will be, I'm just going to type exploit in that case, and now as you can see that the server has been started, and the exploit has been actually occurred. So now we are able to actually deploy this address to our target machine. For example, you can just use a URL shortener in order to deploy this thing into your target machine. For example, if the target person is your neighbor or your friend or any person who is not related to you, you can just use a URL shortener and change the name of this IP address to something else with the help of URL shortener, and could send it to him, and you can tell him that this is a kind of website I have made, or it is a very good opportunity, and you can trick him or her to actually open this address in his or her browser. And whenever they open his or her browser, and if their computer is vulnerable, there's not that much tight security, then their computer would be hacked and you will be able to do anything you want with their computer. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy it, get back to my computer. Now this is the target system. System that will be like, I'm just going to open the Firefox. So now after opening the Firefox, I'm just going to actually type in or just paste the URL address I have actually copied from out there at that Backtrack machine, and then we will be able to actually enter that IP address in here. So I'm just going to paste it that target machine. Well, I haven't copied it successfully, so I'm just going to get back in here and copy it, get back, and list paste it. Okay, now I'm just going to type enter or press enter, and as you can see that now I'm just going to get back, and this is your Java version is out of date. I'm just going to use a later version of it, and then I'm just going to get back in here, and as you can see that now this is actually going to work out. This has been worked out, Java atomic reference ending Java generated jar to drop out. So if this computer or this browser is vulnerable, or this Java is vulnerable, then it will create a successful jar and then will send it to that computer, and that Java inside this computer will be injected, and whenever that Java is injected, you will be able actually to hack this computer. But as you can see that this computer is not vulnerable, as this computer contains a very tight security, and it has given us a message that application blocked by security setting. Even if you just change the security setting from your browser, still this application will be blocked because this computer is not vulnerable. But if that this computer was Windows XP or some later version from XP, then this would be definitely hackable or vulnerable. But if you don't update your Windows 7, then it is still exploitable, because sometime when you don't update your Windows, then it is still easy to exploit that thing.